Is Trump's own country refusing to get fully on board with his ambitious invasion talk, as doubts grow in Washington over the cost of seizing Iran's Kharg Island? Trump openly eyes Kharg as a prize target, but admits he fears domestic heat, raising doubts whether U.S. voters will tolerate a costly new operation. The U.S. struggled to rescue its own Apache crew after Hormuz crash. How will Washington manage a massive ground operation against Iran's defenses on Kharg? Trump on June 11 said he would like the United States to take control of Iran's main oil export hub, Kharg Island, openly floating the idea in an interview. Speaking to Fox News, Trump argued that capturing Kharg Island would be better than striking civilian infrastructure inside Iran, presenting it as a more focused military option. Kharg Island is the centerpiece of Iran's energy export network and a critical source of government revenue, handling the bulk of the country's offshore oil shipments. However, Trump acknowledged that any move to seize the island could face domestic opposition in the United States, given the risks and potential costs involved. He said he was unsure whether Americans currently have the appetite for a costly new military operation that could demand significant resources and time. Military analysts note that capturing and holding Kharg would require a large-scale ground deployment, going far beyond air or naval strikes alone. Such an operation could place thousands of U.S. troops in direct confrontation with Iranian forces on and around the island, sharply raising the risk of escalation. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham strongly endorsed the idea of targeting Kharg, backing Trump's suggestion as a serious option. Graham said that gaining control of Kharg, either through outright force or via a sustained blockade, could fundamentally transform the course of the conflict with Iran. According to Graham, combining pressure on Kharg with maintaining security in the Strait of Hormuz would give the United States major leverage over Tehran's economy and strategy. He also warned that time was running short and urged rapid action if ongoing peace talks with Iran failed to produce results. Trump claimed that Iran was dying to make a deal and was under intense military pressure from recent U.S. actions. He argued that Tehran was already in a position of submission despite continuing resistance and counterstrikes from Iranian forces. However, Iran has maintained that it is ready to fight back against any U.S. ground troops that might move toward its territory or key assets. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said Iran is waiting for the arrival of U.S. troops on the ground to set them on fire, issuing a stark warning against any invasion of Kharg or other areas. U.S. Navy Corsair drone boat was used in what officials described as the first-ever uncrewed rescue of an Apache crew in the Gulf of Oman. U.S. Central Command confirmed a Saronic USV carried out the rescue operation overnight on June 8. Officials said the unmanned vessel located the downed Apache crew after they had spent approximately 2 hours in the water. The USV then transported the survivors to a second maritime location before they were hoisted into a helicopter. According to CENTCOM, Corsair is operated by U.S. Navy Task Force 59, which has been deployed in the Middle East since March. Length, 24 feet, designed for compact deployment in contested maritime zones. Top speed, up to 35 knots, enabling rapid response across wide sea areas. Range, up to 1,000 nautical miles, supporting extended autonomous patrol missions. Payload capacity, up to 1,000 pounds for sensors and mission equipment. Role, surveillance, tracking, reconnaissance, and autonomous maritime operations. Operational design, built for high-speed, long-duration missions in open-water environments. Sensors, radar, electro-optical cameras, and integrated navigation suite for target tracking. Control system, autonomous operation with human-in-the-loop oversight for mission decisions. Deployment, integrated under U.S. Navy Task Force 59 in Middle East operations. Officials described the mission as a landmark use case for drone-assisted search and rescue operations at sea. The rescue highlights a growing shift toward using unmanned systems for complex maritime missions in contested regions. The U.S. Navy has been rapidly integrating uncrewed surface vessels under Task Force 59 since 2021. Experts say the technology could see wider deployment in future search and rescue and maritime security operations. The Apache helicopter was downed during heightened regional tensions involving Iran and U.S. forces. Since the incident, Iran and the U.S. have reportedly exchanged heavy fire on multiple occasions during June 9 and June 10. Iran opens a new front across the Gulf, bringing key U.S. allies into the widening regional confrontation. The conflict spills across Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain in a single wave of missile and drone activity. The IRGC claims it launched 12 ballistic missiles at Al-Azraq Air Base in Jordan during the operation. Tehran alleges the base is used to support U.S. F-35, F-15, and F-16 military operations in the region. IRGC said, and I quote, "The strikes were carried out in response to U.S. attacks on sites inside Iran, including a recreational site, an industrial complex, and areas near military installations around Karaj, Nasrabad, and Peshawar, as well as a local IRGC base. Operations would continue as long as enemy aggression persists." Unquote. Jordan activates emergency procedures after reports of incoming missiles and hostile aerial activity. Residents in Amman are urged to seek shelter as fears of further escalation grip the country. The U.S. issues a security advisory for its citizens in Jordan, urging them to remain indoors. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad advised American citizens to depart immediately amid rising tensions. Kuwait temporarily closes its airspace as the regional security situation deteriorates rapidly. Kuwaiti military officials say air defense systems were activated to respond to potential threats. Bahrain also places its air defenses on alert as the crisis spreads across the Gulf. IRGC-linked channels release footage purportedly showing missile launches from Iran's Isfahan province. Tehran says the strikes were aimed at U.S. military facilities and command centers across the region. As tit-for-tat attacks spread, Trump's warnings appear unable to halt the march toward wider conflict. Iran has announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, dramatically escalating tensions and warning Washington against further military action.
The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya announced, in continuation of the hostile actions of criminal America, and in light of the beginning of attacks by the aggressive military against certain areas in the south in Hormuz province, effective immediately and due to insecurity in the region, the Strait of Hormuz is declared closed to the passage of all vessels, including oil tankers and commercial ships. And any transit through the strait will be targeted. The United States' claim regarding ship passage through the aforementioned strait is denied.